Hello, welcome to Pike Creek Farm. My name is Renee, and if it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. I like to do videos on canning and baking and vintage recipes and just life here at our little life here at our 8 acres in the thumb of Michigan that we call Pike Creek Farm. Today, I have a day off work. I'm semi-retired and I just started working like 2 to 3 days a week. And today's a day off and I took out some chicken breast to thaw. And last night I cut them all up. And today I'm going to can it, just raw pack. And I wanted to show you that you can do it over 2 days. You can prep one day and can the other. And then it's a really quick process. So here's what I did last night. I had a 10-pound bag of chicken breast and they were big. So I'm going to just cut them all up into like 1.5 inch pieces. And I'm going to put it in the stainless steel bowl in the fridge overnight. I have learned that it is convenient when you're working especially, and you don't want to do everything on the weekends to take it as a 2-day process. So I'm trimming off the excess fat and just cutting them up. You don't have to have every piece of fat off. And here they are ready to go in the fridge overnight. I use a shower cap to cover it up and it works great. So now today I'm just gonna get my jars out. I've ran them through the dishwasher. I have my 4 jar lids that I've washed and I have them in warm water because they recommend that. I don't always do that for pressure canning, and you do have to pressure can any meat products. So this is going to be pressure canned. I have my Presto 32 quart canner there. I have the water in it that my canner recommends, which is 3 quarts, about 3 inches it ends up being. Make sure to read your canner's manual because they're all a little different. I just know mine. And I love mine. And I can double stack in here. I had 10 pounds of chicken that I cut up. We used a little bit of it. So I'm thinking I'm going to get about 8 to 9 pints. So it's going to be real fast. Something to note that we now pack to 1 inch. 1.25 inch headspace. It used to be 1 inch. Now we add that little extra 1/4 inch on there. I also add some salt to mine. I'm going to do pints and you can do a teaspoon. I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon. I sometimes don't put any, but I do like a little bit of salt for the flavor with my meat. I think it tastes better when I go to use it for chicken salad. It's just my personal preference. You don't have to put any salt in it. You can put any dry seasonings in, but they do increase. I do some seasoned chicken, and I have some videos for that. Here's one that I've done, whichever side it goes on. But my favorite is just plain raw packed chicken. It is versatile. It makes the best chicken salad ever. Simple. So I'm going to bring you down. Show you how easy this is. I buy the chicken when it's on sale cheap. And if I can't do it right away, I throw it in the freezer and bring it out when I have time. I used to think that canning meat looked like it was so complicated and so hard. And the crazy thing is, it's like the easiest thing you can can. Let me do that. I don't mind using my hands. I just wash them. You can use gloves. You can use a rubber utensil to help. You don't want to put metal in your jar. And make sure you check all your jars, that there's no chips or cracks or any imperfections. You don't want to go to this work and then have it break up in the canner, or you just don't want that to happen. So I have 3 jars here. I'm going to put 1/2 teaspoon of salt in each one. And like I said, the salt, oh, here's another jar. Let's do 4 at once. The salt is totally optional. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. So now we're going to take this chicken that I cut up and put in the fridge last night and put it in the jar. The jar is not hot because the chicken isn't hot and my water is not hot. So it's cold, cold, cold. If I was cooking the chicken first, then I would want the opposite. I'd want hot jars and I'd want my water to be heating up. So let's poke down. You want it to be firmly packed, but not shoved so tight, if that makes sense. And we want to get to that 1 1/4 headspace. So I probably have, I'm going to put a piece of chicken over there. So we want it below this line here, but by just slightly. I'm going to take another piece out. The USDA came out with this recommendation just a couple years ago, and that looks good. I forgot one thing. I need to put some vinegar in this jar. I need to put some vinegar in that bowl just to cut the grease. So I have vinegar in here. Take a paper towel and wipe this edge. You don't want any grease on there to prevent a good seal. Take my lid, put it on, take the ring, finger tight. And then this goes inside my canner. This goes inside my canner, which does have the water in it, and it also has the rack at the bottom. You never want to put your jars directly on the bottom of your canner. So we're just going to keep filling it up and doing the same thing. It's not real exciting, but the end result is wonderful. Okay, see, there's a little bit of too much there. I'll take that piece of fat off. Poke it all down, make sure there's no big air holes. And headspace is at the 1 1/4. Wipe that rim. Lid, ring, finger tight, and then the canner. It's pretty simple. I appreciate having these jars for quick lunches, or even dinners. I don't know what to cook for dinner. I'm tired. It's hot out. I can make chicken salad and my husband is happy. Especially if I have my homemade bread fresh. He's fine with that. I can turn it into a chicken pot pie, a soup, enchiladas, tacos. There are just so many things. And I know I've shown a lot of other items to can, but I've never done just plain chicken breast for you. So I thought I need to do that. So I'm going to keep doing this. We'll see how many jars I end up with. Now, I tend to use wide mouth jars for doing my meat. If I was using a regular wide mouth, I would need to use a funnel. But I don't need to with the wide mouth, and it's easier to get it out after it's canned. Just thought I would let you know that tip. Also, you don't have to add any liquid. The juice from the meat will come out and make a beautiful broth. It might not cover it 100%, but that's okay. It is still good, and that broth is just gold. Okay, I ended up with 10. Let me see, am I right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So I have 7 on the bottom of my canner. I have 7 jars on the bottom here. I'm going to add this shelf in to put the last 2. Okay, I'm going to put the lid on. It's going to take a while to heat up because everything's cold. When there is a full force of steam coming out of the vent pipe, then I will put the timer on for 10 minutes. And then I will, after 10 minutes, I will put my weighted gauge on and let it start to come to a jiggle. Once it gets to a jiggle, which I have 10 pounds of pressure, 10-pound weight on mine, that is what it says for my altitude. I'll have the link down below for where you check what you need for where you live. And if you Google your zip code and altitude, it'll let you know. It's real simple to find out. We're real low here in Michigan. But this will take 75 minutes for pints. If I was doing quarts, it would be 90 minutes. And I usually do my raw packed chicken in pints. That works out well for us. If I want something bigger, I just use 2 pints.
The jars are still bubbling like crazy. I'll remove them and take them and set them on a mat. And look how clear that water is.
And here are all 9 jars. Some are still boiling away. But they have all sealed already. So 9 different meals will be going in the pantry shelf. 9 pints of chicken, raw packed chicken breast. No, it's not pretty, but it is pretty darn good. I'm gonna make chicken salad tonight and take to work tomorrow. It feels so good to put this on my pantry shelf. It is security. It's knowing that I have a fast meal ready, that if someone stops in, I can make something quick. If neighbor gets sick or anything, I can make something fast. I can send this to my dad. It makes quick lunches. I don't buy lunch meat, I make chicken salad. So here it is. Ready to go on the shelf. I gotta wash, take off the ring, label. You wanna make sure your seal's good. These will be ready to go downstairs in my pantry and replacing some that I've been using. So I hope that you will be adventurous and make some chicken, raw packed chicken. You will love it, you really will. So I hope this helps any of you that are interested in canning meat and canning raw packed chicken. And I have videos where I use it too, and I'll put the link for that. And we'll see what my next canning adventure is going to be at Pike Creek Farm. See you next time at Pike Creek Farm.